She's back, standing at the edge of your life with softer words, warmer eyes, and a presence that stirs something you thought you'd buried. The woman who walked away, leaving you to navigate the wreckage of what was, now wants a second chance. But this moment isn't just about her, it's about you. The man you've become in her absence. The peace you've carved out of silence. The strength you've forged in solitude. A Stoic doesn't let emotion cloud his judgment, he cuts through the fog with reason. On Wisdom Waves Aura, we're diving into how to face this crossroads with clarity, grit, and unapologetic self-respect. Here's how to decide if her return aligns with the man you are now, or if it's just a ghost from a past you've outgrown. Her departure wasn't just a moment, it was a wound. She made a choice, and whether it was for space, another person, or some unspoken reason, it left a mark. That sting hit your pride, your heart, maybe even your sense of who you are. You might have spent nights replaying the last conversation, scrolling through old texts, searching for the exact moment things unraveled. That pain is real, and a Stoic doesn't hide from it. He sits with it, lets it burn, and learns what it has to teach. Pain, when faced head-on, becomes power. So ask yourself, have I truly processed that hurt, or have I just been running from it? Because if you're still raw, still chasing closure, you're not ready to decide anything. A Stoic man doesn't beg for answers or validation. He observes, accepts, and grows. You need to sit with the truth of her leaving before you can even think about her return. Did that moment break you, or did it build you? Did it make you smaller, desperate for her approval, or did it push you to find a calm, unshakable strength? Picture a man who's been through this fire. He didn't chase her down or lose himself in the chaos. He took long walks with no destination, journaled his thoughts, hit the gym, trained his mind. When she came back, he didn't leap at the chance. He looked her in the eye, calm and composed, and asked himself, does this fit the man I am now? That's the stillness you need. If you let her back in just to soothe the ache, you're setting yourself up for the same pain, dressed in new promises. But if you choose from a place of clarity, not need, you're building on a foundation of strength. Your memory is a trickster. It doesn't show you the full picture, it plays the highlight reel. The way she laughed at your dumb jokes, the warmth of her hand in yours, the moments she looked at you like you were her everything. Those snapshots feel vivid, especially when you're lonely. But memory isn't reality. It smooths out the rough edges, mutes the fights, the distance, the times she pulled away when you needed her most. You're not missing her, you're missing a version of her that doesn't exist anymore, maybe never did. A Stoic knows the mind can lie, dressing up the past in rose-tinted light. So be brutally honest, were you in love with her, or with the idea of her? Did you fall for her potential, hoping she'd become someone she wasn't? Before you let her back in, strip away the nostalgia. Remember the moments that left you empty, the words that cut, the subtle ways she made you question your worth. This isn't about holding a grudge, it's about seeing clearly. Marcus Aurelius said, if someone can show me I'm wrong, I'll change. So challenge yourself, were you wrong about who she was? If the woman you're longing for is a ghost, a dream you built in your head, then her return isn't about love, it's about chasing an illusion. Let her be who she chose to be. You, on the other hand, choose truth. Choose peace. Choose the version of you that doesn't need to rewrite pain as romance. Drop a comment on Wisdom Waves Aura and tell me, what's one memory you're holding onto that might not match reality? Or just type, I choose truth over illusion. It's a small step toward clarity, and it might help someone else watching too. People don't always come back because they've changed, sometimes they just miss the comfort you gave them. Her soft words, her sudden warmth, might feel like redemption, but pause. Is she here because she's grown, or because she's lonely? A Stoic man doesn't fall for promises, he watches patterns. Has she taken accountability for leaving, or is she just leaning on the safety net you used to be? Look at her actions, not her apologies. Does she show up differently, or is she just craving the familiarity of what you had? Maybe she's shaken by your absence, but that's not the same as transformation. Comfort feels like clarity when the world gets cold, but it's not. Ask, has she broken her old patterns, emotionally, mentally, behaviorally? Or is she back because life outside your orbit was harder than she expected? A Stoic doesn't judge on emotion alone. He digs deeper. If she's only here to fill her own void, you're not her partner, you're her crutch. And you're not here to be anyone's backup plan. On Wisdom Waves Aura, we talk about building a life that doesn't bend to fleeting feelings. So reflect, is this a second chance, or the same cycle in disguise? Share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever mistaken someone's need for your comfort as love? You're not a revolving door. She walked away, and that choice had weight. Maybe she's back with regrets, saying she misses you, wants things to be like before. But here's the truth, before is what let her think she could leave in the first place. Forgiveness is powerful, it frees you from bitterness, but letting her back in isn't the same as letting go of pain. One is release, the other is access, and access must be earned. A Stoic doesn't shut his heart out of spite, but he doesn't fling it open either. He evaluates. Has she grown in character, not just in words? Does she respect your boundaries, or is she banking on your loneliness? Your standards aren't a doormat. They're a mirror of your self-respect. If you let her waltz back in without proving she's changed, you're telling her you'll always be there, no matter how she treats you. That's not love, it's surrender. Think of a man who learned this the hard way. His partner left during a tough time, claiming she needed space. When she returned, he welcomed her without question, thinking it was love. Weeks later, the same patterns crept back, she drifted, he broke. Don't repeat that cycle. Your peace isn't a rental property. Hold the line, not out of anger, but because you value the man you've become. Trust isn't a switch you flip back on because she says sorry. It's built slowly, brick by brick, and sometimes it never feels the same. Her leaving wasn't a mistake, it was a decision, one that shook your sense of safety. You can't just pretend that didn't happen. A Stoic doesn't fear being alone, he fears betraying his own truth. So ask, why is she back? Is it because she's reflected and wants to rebuild something real, or because she's running from her own emptiness? Picture trust like a bridge you both burned. Rebuilding it takes time, effort, and proof, not just promises. If you let her back in without seeing change, you're not healing, you're setting a trap for yourself. Compassion is noble, but without wisdom, it's self-betrayal. You're not cruel for needing time or having doubts. You're a man who values his peace. On Wisdom Waves Aura, we're all about protecting that peace. Drop a comment, have you ever rebuilt trust, and how did you know it was real? Words are easy, change is hard. If she says she's different, let her prove it, not over days, but weeks, months. A Stoic values evidence over emotion. Look for consistency, not sparks. Has she faced her flaws, or is she just dodging discomfort? Reconciliation without reflection is a recipe for repetition. I've seen it before, a woman leaves, thinking the grass is greener, only to return when life gets cold. It's tempting to believe her, especially if your heart still pulls toward her. But discipline matters more than desire. Epictetus said, first decide who you want to be, then do what you must. If you want peace, don't trade it for nostalgia. Watch her presence, her patience, how she respects your new boundaries. Don't rush. You don't owe her instant forgiveness or a fast pass back into your life. Choose like a man who knows his worth. You've changed since she left. You've sat with your pain, rebuilt your focus, maybe hit the gym or rediscovered a passion. That's not just healing, it's transformation. You're calmer, stronger, less reactive. You don't chase anymore, you choose. Now she's back, but does she see the man you are now, or is she stuck on who you were? If she expects the guy who always texted first, forgave fast, or tolerated chaos, she's not seeing you. She's seeing a memory. Your growth isn't small, it came from walking through fire alone. Those nights you questioned your worth, those mornings you got up anyway, they made you. Does her return honor that, or threaten to undo it? A Stoic asks, does this serve the life I'm building? If she doesn't respect your evolution, your discipline, your boundaries, your peace, she's not here for you. She's here for what you used to give. Don't shrink to fit a love that no longer fits. On Wisdom Waves Aura, we celebrate the man who stands firm. Type "I won't shrink to fit what I've outgrown" in the comments. Sometimes her return isn't about love, it's about her need. If she's back because her world feels empty, that's not connection, it's a transaction. A Stoic doesn't sell his peace for attention. Ask, why now? Is it because she sees your worth, or because she's lost without you? One is strength, the other is fear. You've worked too hard to rebuild yourself to let someone use you as their emotional crutch. Watch her patterns, not her promises. You're not here to rescue her from loneliness, you're here to protect your peace. Choose only those who value the man you are, not just the comfort you provide. Are you letting her back in because you forgive her, or because you're scared to start over? Fear can dress up as love, whispering that she's the one or that you'll never find this again. But a Stoic doesn't choose from fear, he chooses from truth. Missing her doesn't mean she belongs in your future. Ask, am I at peace with this, or just avoiding the unknown? Forgiveness is powerful, but it doesn't mean giving her access. You can wish her well and still walk away. Better a lonely truth than a crowded lie. If you're only considering her return because starting over feels too hard, you're not choosing love, you're choosing escape. Here's the real test: would the man who loves himself, his time, his dignity, his peace, let her back in? Not the version of you lost in nostalgia, but the one who faced pain and grew stronger. That man doesn't cling to memories, he builds on truth. Her leaving wasn't a curse, it was a gift. It forced you to find your worth without her. Now that you have, would you trade it for comfort? If there's even a hint of doubt, listen to it. That's not fear, it's wisdom. Self-love doesn't beg or compromise. It says, I choose me. Drop a comment on Wisdom Waves Aura, would you take her back if you truly loved yourself? Sometimes peace means letting go. Closure doesn't need a conversation, and healing doesn't need a reunion. The strongest move you can make is silence, not to punish her, but to honor the man you've become. She left a version of you that no longer exists. Your loyalty, your heart, your effort, they were real, but she chose distance. In that space, you rebuilt yourself, not for her, but for you. Now her return asks a question: does she fit the life you've built from the ashes? A Stoic doesn't reopen old wounds for nostalgia. He knows not every connection survives growth. Your silence isn't revenge, it's reverence for your journey. If her return doesn't align with the man you are now, let the door stay closed. Walk forward with grace, knowing you've chosen strength over sentiment. You've done the work. You've healed in silence, rebuilt in solitude, and redefined your worth without needing her to validate it. The man you are now isn't swayed by fear or nostalgia, he's driven by purpose. Sometimes the greatest act of love is the one you show yourself by not returning to what broke you. Not every story needs a sequel, some end so you can begin. If this hit home, drop a comment on Wisdom Waves Aura and share your thoughts. Your story might help another man find his clarity. Type "I choose me" if you're ready to stand firm. Check out more on Wisdom Waves Aura for videos on self-respect, discipline, and Stoic strength. Let's keep growing together.